Sorry about that, guys. I had someone walk into my classroom, so here's the second part of the video. So, we have, what were we doing? So we were adding and subtracting our factors to see what our b is equal to. So, in this case, if I add these two together, I don't get 6, but if I subtract 3 from 9, I get 6. So, these will work. But when we rewrite it, we have to rewrite it to make sure we get our b to equal to 6. So I have x squared, then plus 9x minus 3x minus 27 is equal to 0. The reason I did that way is because 9x minus 3x will give you your 6x up here. Okay? So, from here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do our grouping just like we had talked about before. So let's do our first grouping. Let's look at our coefficients. We have 1 and 9 and we can't really pull anything out of there, so let's look at our x's. Can we pull out an x? We sure can. So we have x, and what's left when we pull out an x from x squared? Just an x. And then if we pull out an x from 9x, we just get a 9 left over. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and we want inside our parentheses to be positive. So we're going to pull out a negative something. So let's look here. We have negative 3x minus 27. We have a negative 3 and 27. Well, I can pull out a negative 3. If I pull out a negative 3, this becomes a positive x. If it was a negative x, a negative times a negative would not give you a negative. That's why we pulled out a negative 3 and made this positive. So, if we pull out a negative 3 from negative 27, we would get plus 9 is equal to 0. Are these the same? They sure are. So, that's our goal, is to get those to be the same. So now, once we've gotten that taken care of, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go and rewrite it. So we have x minus 3 and x plus 9. We're multiplying them together and setting them equal to 0. So if I were to FOIL these, let's double check our work and make sure this is working correctly. I'm going to do my first. It comes out to x squared. X times x is x squared. Then outside, x times 9 gives me 9x. Then negative 3 times x gives me negative 3x. And negative 3 times 9 gives me a negative 27x. If I were to combine my like terms, I would get x squared plus 6x minus 27. Oops, that should not be an x. Minus 27. Sorry about that. Negative 3 times 9 just gives you a 27. There's no x there. So, is this our original equation here? Yes, it is. So, we're on the right track. Now all we have to do is solve. So we have x minus 3 is equal to 0 and x plus 9 is equal to 0. So, I'm going to add 3 to both sides. X is equal to positive 3, and I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. X is equal to a negative 9. These are my solutions. X is equal to 3, and x is equal to negative 9. Okay, let's do another one. Let's go ahead and we will do let's do number 18. Yeah, 18 works. Let's go to 18. 18 is x squared minus 45 is equal to 4x. First off, it's not in the form that we need it to be in. We need it to be set to 0. So we need to go ahead and we're going to move this 4x over. We move it over by subtracting 4x from both sides. So we're left with x squared minus 4x minus 45 is equal to 0. So good, now we have to go ahead and write down our givens. A is equal to 1, ahead now, we're going to do what's 1 times negative 45, right? We need to multiply our A and C, so 1 times 45 gives me 45. Remember, right now we're not worrying about negatives. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to figure this out. 1 and 45 are factors. 3 and 15 are factors. And 5 and 9 are factors as well. So let's go ahead and see what's going to give us our B value. So if I have 1 and 45, that's not even close to negative 4. 3 and 15, not even close either. But if you subtract 5, or if you subtract 9 from 5, you do get negative 4. So this is what we're going to use. So let's go ahead and rewrite it. We have x squared. Now, minus 9x plus 5x minus 45 is equal to 0. The reason I did that is because negative or minus 9x plus 5x gives you your negative 4x, which is up here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to group. So what can I pull out of here? Well, I have a 1 and a 9. I really can't pull out anything with the coefficients, but I can pull out an x. So I'm going to pull out an x, and I'm left with an x here and a negative 9 here. And here, what can I pull out? Well, I can pull out a 5. I can't pull out an x, but I can pull out a 5. So let's pull out a 5. If I pull out a 5 from here, I'm left with x, and if I pull out a 5 from here, I'm left with a negative 9. So these are equal. That's what we wanted. So now let's rewrite it. We have x plus 5 times x minus 9, and we're set to 0. So, good. It's awesome. You can double check it. Double checking it, you factor everything out, and you're good to go. So you're going to go ahead and solve. X plus 5 is equal to 0, and x minus 9 is equal to 0. So I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides, and my x is equal to negative 5. I'm going to add 9 to both sides, and my x is equal to a positive 9. So these are my solutions. You can double check them in Desmos. So now you guys are going to be on your own. Go ahead and finish off the rest of the problems on the notes for in class. As soon as you're done with them, you can go ahead and start on the homework. The front of the homework is all done by factoring. The back, it just depends on what you want to use. You can use the square root method, you can use factoring, or you can use the quadratic formula. Whatever it is that you decide you can use. So, be good for the sub. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.